Hi there, my name is Victoria Bowler, and today we are looking at a few songs that students can use as a jumping off point to create their own text ideas. So let's look at Aiken Drum, let's look at Ginny Jenkins, and let's look at Buckeye Jim. So let's start with Aiken Drum. I spent a long time looking into the history of this song for the Planning Binder this year, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So let's look at two different versions of this song. Both work great for our purposes. One is, I think, a little bit less well known, and then the other one is very similar, if not exactly, the one that we are probably a little bit more familiar with. So here is maybe the less well-known version. It is, "There came a man to our town, to our town, to our town. There came a man to our town, and his name was Aiken Drum. And he played upon a ladle, a ladle, a ladle. And he played upon a ladle, and his name was Aiken Drum." And we can go on with a couple different versions. "And he ate up all the potatoes, potatoes, potatoes. And he ate up all the potatoes, and his name was Aiken Drum. And he ate up all the birthday cake, the birthday cake, the birthday cake. And he ate up all the birthday cake, and his name was Aiken Drum." And it goes on and on and on with some different text ideas for what he was eating. I'm making some adaptations to these words, and I'll add sources for all of this so that you can go there and look at the original versions of this yourself. But in the original version of this variant of the song is about Willie Wood, and he plays upon a razor. And then Aiken Drum comes into town later, in a later verse, playing on a ladle. So I'm kind of skipping straight to the Aiken Drum verses here. Let's look at a different version now. This is the one that many of us use either in a simple meter or in compound meter. It goes like this. "There was a man lived in the moon, in the moon, in the moon. There was a man lived in the moon, and his name was Aiken Drum. And he played upon a ladle, a ladle, a ladle. And he played upon a ladle, and his name was Aiken Drum. And his nose was made of broccoli, of broccoli, of broccoli. And his nose was made of broccoli, and his name was Aiken Drum. And his eyes were made of blueberries, of blueberries, of blueberries. And his eyes were made of blueberries, and his name was Aiken Drum. And his head was made of an apple." You get the idea. So we just go on and on with all of the different things that Aiken Drum was made of. We can talk about his hair. We could talk about his toes. For that matter, we could talk about his toenails, right? We can go as deep into this as we want. Songs like this are a really great place to start with changing the text, because students just have to have one idea and fit it in the melody and fit it in the meter. And we don't need to worry about things like rhyming words or even things that make sense. This text also doesn't have to be very long. It's just one single idea, and then we're going to extend it just by repeating it over and over and over, right? His head was made of an apple, of an apple, of an apple. His head was made of an apple, and his name was Aiken Drum. So it's a very small ask on the part of students. Let's talk about another one now that many of us already know, and that is Ginny Jenkins. Again, I had a lot of fun researching this one for the Planning Binder. So let's sing it first, and then we will talk about it later. Here we go. "Will you wear red, oh my dear, oh my dear, oh, will you wear red, Ginny Jenkins? No, I won't wear red, it's a color I dread. I'll buy me a falder, ollie, tilde, tolde, seek a double, oosakaza, roll. Ginny Jenkins, roll. Will you wear green, oh my dear, oh, will you wear green, Ginny Jenkins? No, I won't wear green, it's a shame to be seen. I'll buy me a falder, ollie, tilde, tolde, seek a double, oosakaza, roll. Ginny Jenkins, roll. Will you wear pink, oh my dear, oh, will you wear pink, Ginny Jenkins? Well, I might wear pink, but I'd still have to think. I'll buy me a falder, ollie, tilde, tolde, seek a double, oosakaza, roll. Ginny Jenkins, roll. So this is a spin-off of an older English song, and in colonial times it was used as a courting song. And the color that Ginny Jenkins chose to wear would give some sort of insight into her character. So blue for faithfulness and white for purity and red for sin and on and on and on. And then as these things go over time, it just became a fun game to try to give someone a prompt and then see if they could make a rhyming phrase as a response to that prompt. So just a fun way to rhyme with colors. And that's how we use it today in our classrooms. When we do this with students, we'll give them a color, and then as a class, we're going to come up with several different rhyming phrases that could work. So having several options right there for correct ideas, many versions of a correct idea, that can be really helpful here. Another thing that can sometimes be helpful, sometimes in activities like this, I will put a just collection of rhyming words on the board. So if I want us to rhyme with green, I will put green on the board, and then all around the word green, I'm going to put words that rhyme with green. Same thing, I'll put red right here. Many different types of words that can rhyme with red. And so this is there for students to use as they need it, as they want it, just as they are looking for ideas. And again, it's optional. They have the choice to use it or not. One of the nice things about this is it's a support that we are going to offer everyone in the class. But as you can imagine, it is very useful if English is not a student's heritage language. Okay, so this song is kind of similar to Aiken Drum in that students just need one short phrase idea. But we're extending the creative ask from what we were talking about with Aiken Drum because we also have this rhyming component. We want students to have some sort of phrase that ends with a rhyming word to the color. Something that helps though is that in addition to being a very short idea, right? I might wear pink, but I'd still have to think. It also doesn't need to be something that is taken very literally or that has a very concrete narrative, or it doesn't even have to be something that students personally think about that color themselves. Maybe red is your favorite color, but you're going to create a rhyme that gives the impression that you do not want to wear red. So whatever it is, that can help kind of open the parameters of what a correct answer can sound like. Now let's extend that idea just a little bit further with Buckeye Jim. This is an Appalachian lullaby and maybe my favorite one in this collection. It is, way up yonder above the sky, a bluebird lived in a jaybird's eye. Buckeye Jim, you can't go weave and spin, you can't go, Buckeye Jim. Way up yonder above the moon, a blue jay nests in a silver spoon. Buckeye Jim, you can't go weave and spin, you can't go, Buckeye Jim. Way down yonder in a hollow log, a red bird danced with a green bullfrog. Buckeye Jim, you can't go weave and spin, you can't go, Buckeye Jim. And on with as many verses as we can think of. So in Appalachian folklore, a buckeye is a symbol of good luck. So a buckeye is a nut. You might have seen it before. It is dark brown. It has that light brown spot in the middle. That is a buckeye. So we're referring to Jim as someone who has good luck. When I do these types of activities with students, another helpful thing to do is to look at the structure of the verses. So here we have a description of the place, and then we have something that was happening at that place. So for this, we want a place and then a scene that we could observe if we were looking at that place. This lullaby is fantastic, as in fantasy. And when Lomax was describing it, he talked about how imaginative it is. You'll also notice that the lyrics don't have to make sense and they don't have to be literal. They don't have to be anything that's even possible, right? And that helps us, like what we were talking about with Jenny Jenkins, that helps us kind of just open a few more doors for what we can rhyme with and the types of verses that we can create. So an example of a verse that we might create could be, far away 10 miles or more lives an old man I've never met before. Buckeye Jim, you can't go weave and spin, you can't go, Buckeye Jim. Or this one's my favorite. Over the ocean and over the sea, Charlie caught a big fish, but he can't catch me. Buckeye Jim, you can't go. Or way down low beneath the dirt, a beetle sits and mends a shirt. Buckeye Jim. Okay, so this is an instance where it can be helpful to put the rhyming words on the board, and students might also turn to a partner and choose to work with them after we've brainstormed several different ideas as a class. Okay, so these songs are a lot of fun. Number one, just to sing on their own, right? But they also provide us with some really good opportunities for students to engage in some text creation. So we talked about a pretty small box with Aiken Drum, where students just needed one food text idea. And then we extend that a little bit more to Jenkins, where students are coming up with a rhyming word to our color prompt. And then we went a level beyond that, where students are coming up with both phrases in Buckeye Jim. If you have a comment on this video, I would love to hear from you. You can find me on Instagram. I am at Victoria Bowler. You can drop a comment below, or you can shoot me an email, victoria@victoriabowler.com. Thank you so much for watching, and happy teaching.